The reason I've been now doing this show for 3 years, playing the same role, is because the way they've written Bert for the stage, I just get to do my best in every genre of, I get to dance up a storm, I get to sing those famous songs, and I get to act in scenes, whether I'm being the narrator and really out there being big and talking to the audience and being the narrator that's pushing the story along, or the scenes with Michael and Jane when I'm trying to cheer them up, or when the lovely scene in Act 2 that I have with George Banks when he's rediscovering his youth, and the special gingerbread stars that were hid in the vase. It's all plot line that you don't need to know now. But yeah, I feel the way I'm portraying the role of Bert on stage is he has to have bundles and bundles of energy. He's the guy that pushes the story forward. He's the guy that gets to talk to the audience, and he's the guy that's supposed to be cheering the kids up, Jane and Michael. Mary's teaching the lessons. The parents are getting on at them all the time. Bert's the light relief in a way.
I love singing these songs, and it was a movie I watched over 1,000,000 times when I was little. So to really bring these songs to life on stage is so amazing, like singing Spoonful of Sugar and Feed the Birds, and it's just amazing. And to actually, do songs like Practically Perfect and Anything Can Happen, which are new songs, and actually sing something, people don't hear Julie Andrews singing, has been really nice as well.
The question I was left asking myself yesterday was, how do you get through a 2-show day? Because you never stop, do you?
I don't. I'm never off stage, and when I am off stage, it's more hectic than when I'm on stage because I'm changing or getting water or whatever. And, it's really about pacing yourself. And, in between shows, I kind of nap. I usually order in if it's cold out, or just kind of hang out by myself in between. And, my parents are very thankful because I was always such a hyper child. I think my hyperactivity is being used finally. So I was born with a lot of energy.
This show is very similar to The Lion King in a sense that you don't really need to be a kid to see this and enjoy it. The film is the same, really. You can enjoy it no matter what age you are. Mm-hmm. It has some very clever tricks in it, and the scenery particularly is so complex and complicated. If it goes wrong, the whole thing has to stop, doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't stop, but Ashley is a little egg on face. There are nights when I'm not as magical. Just because a lot of my magic depends on the calling of the show, or it just depends on me. And as I said, it's live theater, and you're not always the best. And so there's been times when I've definitely had to come up with lines, and the audience always eats it up. And, you just kind of have to be on your toes because there are things, because so much goes on in the show, and there's so much magic and so many amazing things that when it goes wrong, it goes real wrong.
Did you have to train with David Copperfield to do this?
Well, I definitely had to train with the person who came up with all the magic for all the Disney shows. And so I trained, and I was so nervous because I'm like, oh gosh, I never went to school for magic. Oh my God, they don't know who they're dealing with, because I can be clumsy at times. And so I definitely had to learn how to do it, because there's definitely the lamp that I pull out is, made out of oak, and everything's heavy, and I'm singing at the same time. So it was definitely learning everything bit by bit and kind of putting it together in layers.
Another thing I have to ask you, are you okay?
Of course I'm all right.
Well, I'm worried about your back going up and down those stairs all those times. It's got to hurt your poise, hasn't it?
It does. It actually hurts my legs, especially Sunday nights, the 8th show of the week. I swear they add an extra stair. There are some times when I'm like, oh my word, my thighs are killing me. But it's, it's great. It always gets a good laugh, which makes me happy.
What is it like being a leading lady? I mean, you're it, really. You're what every girl who goes to the theatre school dreams about. You've got the top role. It's hard to believe that you would ever be out of work again because you're so consistent. And I think that's the key, isn't it, to being brilliant?
Every single night, and that's one thing that I've definitely learned, playing this role is it's not as glamorous as you might think. I live a very disciplined life, just because, I'm doing what I love to do. And so that's what it's also worth. I don't even know if I call it sacrifice, because it's not even sacrificing, because I'm able to do what I love to do. But yes, it's one of those professions where you can leave everything at the door, and there are days when I don't feel like singing Spoonful of Sugar, but I do, and and pretend like it's the first time because the people in the audience had never seen it. So, it depends on how you look at it. It's a great thing that you can just leave all your baggage at the door and have just a wonderful, happy show, and we all leave so happy and we all get along. I know it sounds like I'm being paid to say this, but we really do have such a great company. But it is sometimes I don't get tired of singing the material, but sometimes my body and voice is tired, and it's something you have to overcome.
Some of the arty-farty people sneer at Disney, and I never understand why, because with The Lion King you have the best opening in theatre ever, and I think with this musical you probably have the best close ever. Are we allowed to reveal what happens to you in the end, or shall we leave that to people who come and see you?
We can reveal it. I think it's pretty much well known that I fly over the audience at the end, and it's because even saying it doesn't do it justice. You have to see it because, I mean, it's truly amazing. And you can't see the wires. I know that's giving away Disney magic, but, you know, you can't see. It's a very magical. That's when I see the grown men crying because I can see faces. And that's when it's truly spectacular that, you know, people see this happen because it's never happened before on Broadway. People, you know, flying over the audience. And it's a great time because I can actually see the people who I've been performing for so long and see the faces and the reactions and everybody hugging and coming together. It's great.
Congratulations on this. You've done it brilliantly. And it was a worry because to get the accent right, there's a lot of pressure, isn't there?
Oh, the pressure was unbelievable. But, you know, it was so nice having such support from Disney and Cameron MacKintosh and our director, Richard. You know, they really trusted me to bring in my own thing. And I just thank them so much for that because I couldn't recreate what Julie Andrews did. She did it amazingly and brilliantly, and there's just no other way to do it other than different.